Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here with Season 3 Reloaded in a few days' time, we are obviously going to see another major update for Warzone and Black Ops 6 associated with all the new content and everything. There will be a full-on new title update going out, and that means we're probably going to have a very lengthy list of patch notes. And even though the full reveal for Season 3 Reloaded, and of course the update itself, is still a little ways out, a few days out, we actually already have a ton of confirmations that have been revealed over the past few days and weeks in regards to what to expect with this patch in terms of some bug fixes, some other gameplay adjustments, other things to look out for. And so today wanted to go through, sort of recap and culminate everything that we know about the Season 3 Reloaded update and like the early look at the patch notes that we've got thus far. Obviously, a lot of the big name stuff with Season 3 Reloaded is going to be the content stuff, so we've known about this really the entire season, of course, because of the roadmap and the blog that we got back when Season 3 first launched. So yes, obviously, we've got some new maps coming for multiplayer, few gameplay updates like the Frost Blast, field upgrade, the Zombie Snacks LTM in season for zombies. We got a couple of new events with a new Call of Duty Endowment event, the Blaze of Glory event, some new weapon updates as well. This, like I said, is sort of like the headline stuff. We can actually get into even more detailed things though because of the various reveals the devs have posted in regards to early patch notes, other changes, other fixes that'll be coming. So the first place we got to turn here is the Trello boards. Our global Trello board here, a lot more simplistic than what we're about to check out on the Warzone Trello board, but these are essentially early looks at what we'll see on the Season 3 Reloaded patch notes when those end up dropping later this week, because these fixes have been scheduled on here for some time now. We've seen several updates go out over the course of the past few days and weeks, and these things have still stuck around waiting to be fully updated, likely meaning they've required a full-on title update to go out and be fixed, and that's what's coming with Season 3 Reloaded. So real quick, in multiplayer, the only thing here that's not a guaranteed fix scheduled is that there's an issue with some SR visual stuff not always showing as expected. When you complete a match or when you log into the app, your SR number might be off there, so they're investigating that. That'll likely be updated here shortly. Very well could be with Season 3 Reloaded. Few big fixes that are scheduled though. There's been a lot of confusion sometimes where double XP is showing as active even though it's only double gobblegum. So obviously it's double XP in a sense for zombies, but it'll show universally that it's active in Warzone and multiplayer when it's not. So they are going to fix that confusion there so that that accurately reflects the kind of XP event that's going on. The nail gun ADS is currently not centered with like its little iron sight. It's a tad bit off, which can impact your aim quite a bit there depending on the fight. So they are aware of that. That'll be fixed and updated here. And then a big one, players haven't been able to go from sliding into proning and using that sort of movement mechanic to break cameras and to throw enemies off. If they've been using the slide and dive behavior as hybrid or slide only, you've had to have been using something else like tap to slide, hold to dive, whatever the case is, right? For that setting to actually work and for that movement mechanic to actually work. This has been on the Trello for like 3 weeks now, meaning it must require a significant update to get pushed out. So this is one that should be updated. It's about time with Season 3 Reloaded, so good news there. Now, our Warzone Trello has a lot more stuff listed. However, a lot of it's still under investigation. There's very much so a good chance that these things will appear in the Season 3 Reloaded patch notes, but obviously the fixed schedule, the listings are the ones that are fully confirmed there. So take that for what it's worth. Something to note though, we do get some content mentions here, even though it's like the bug fix Trello board. For instance, bunker busters have been in and out of plunder and resurgence the past few weeks for bugs, but bunker busters should be coming to full-on battle royale with Season 3 Reloaded, it was mentioned. So that should be updated here. Then obviously a big part of Season 3 in Warzone is the return of ranked play, and that'll be featured on Verdansk for the very first time. So that'll obviously be very exciting as well. But in terms of the general issues and updates here, like I said, a lot of this is under investigation. However, a lot of this has also been on the Trello for quite some time. So very possible we see these fixed and we see these updated with Season 3 Reloaded. For instance, the bug that's been here basically since the launch of the game, there's situations where you can't revive a teammate or you yourself cannot be revived by a teammate. Yeah, that's it's a pretty big issue. It's been on and off since the game launched. Like I said, I remember having this the first day the game was out on Area 99, and we're still getting it now here on Verdansk. Really hoping they address that. There's a lot of issues where you'll see airspace too crowded when you're ADSing your weapon and not an actual streak. That's been going on since Verdansk dropped. An issue where your teammates don't actually get the full rewards for a supply run contract. If you complete that, not everyone ends up getting the free or the discounted buy there, which is pretty annoying. This one will definitely be fixed here with Season 3 Reloaded, because it has a lot to do with the map limitations. Contracts spawning in inaccessible areas. I've had contracts spawn in parts of the airport and parts of the train station that you can't get into because it's the inside, it's the interior of the train or whatever, right? And we know we're going to see updates with Season 3 Reloaded to expand Verdansk. We're going to see them open up the train station interior, presumably the bunkers as well, which is going to be really exciting to see what Easter eggs they sort of have associated with that. The stadium could be opened up as well. The mobile train's going to be coming to the map. So we are going to see quite a few Verdansk map updates mentioned in the patch notes as well. And this is actually a fix that'll be coming alongside that, which is solid there. An issue where players are receiving default weapons when you use a custom loadout. So obviously an annoying one there. You're trying to get your HDR and your AMAX or whatever, right? And it gives you a base XM4 and a pistol, and that's just not ideal. And then lastly, the only fix scheduled here, so we know this one will be updated here, an issue that sometimes causes custom loadouts and other player data to reset after a match. So you go through, you edit your loadout, you've switched over to a new rifle and a new SMG, you play a game, it works fine, but then that match ends and then that loadout is switched back to something else. You don't have that new AR and that new SMG, it's an LMG and a pistol or something weird, right? So a lot of loadout bugs, but those should be addressed here with Season 3 Reloaded. And by the way, as we are going through all the updates, all the details that we know of for this next major patch, quick reminder, if you do enjoy the video, a like rating is always really appreciated. Much love to everyone who takes the time to do so. And if you're new to the channel, or maybe you have not subscribed yet, we should change that. Each and every single day, I got you covered with everything you need to know for COD, whether it's news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. It's all right here, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Now, sort of coinciding with the Trello, we just talked about this page the other day, but Activision also has their own known issues page for Warzone that includes a few other mentions that aren't just listed on the Warzone Trello here, right? So for instance, lagging and hitching on PC. This can happen with AMD graphics cards, various different setups. This is what Call of Duty posted about the other day on the COD Updates account, saying they're now fully investigating this issue where certain graphic card setups and certain configurations can cause performance issues in game. They do want you to fill out like a crash log report if you're getting those issues so you can help them combat this issue, but they are fully aware of that. As mentioned, switching to a secondary weapon gives you a pistol instead of your actual loadout secondary weapon, so an issue there where you're not getting the correct guns. Dragon's Breath being disabled in game is still being looked into. They will balance that out at some point, and that'll be fixed here. COD point balance being 0, just a visual bug. Most of the time it's fixed with a reset of your game, but they are aware that that's been an ongoing issue for a long time now. Same loadout issue we just talked about over on the Trello. The bunker buster issue we talked about on the Trello. Borealis, another MW3 mastery camos not being equipable in Warzone. They are aware of that, and hopefully that gets fixed here soon because it's annoying not being able to use the content you grinded for. Some calling card unlock issues. The Reclaimer still being disabled, which has been out of the game for some time. They are still investigating that, although that just seems like it needs to be a balance pass and fixing the blueprints there, and it should be fixed. I'm not sure why that's been missing for so long now. And then just a quick little PSA on some issues on console where your DLC packs for the game's download can sometimes be out of date or messed up there, and they kind of walk you through that. So a few other additional things to look out for here with Season 3 Reloaded. Now, beyond just bug fixes and some of the content that we briefly looked at on the roadmap, we do have a few other official gameplay updates confirmed for Season 3 Reloaded and beyond here. So for instance, one that I've got my eye on is with the weapons. We know obviously we're going to see a full weapons update, buffs and nerfs to various things. One thing to look out for though in specific is some updates to some of the older weapons, MW2 and MW3 weapons. They do say, building upon recent adjustments such as a reduction of armor reserves to improve economic pacing, we are introducing substantial buffs to weapon damage. We saw this with the Black Ops 6 weapons at the launch of Season 3, where a lot of the rifles, the SMGs, they got major buffs to their damage, so the TTK is pretty quick right now. These damage updates only apply to Black Ops 6 guns. They say initially these enhancements will only focus on the Black Ops 6 catalog, subsequently extending to legacy weapons. So these updates will be coming to MW2 and MW3 guns at a later date from the launch of Season 3. So Season 3 Reloaded is a prime time for that to potentially happen. We'll have to keep our eyes on the full official patch notes when those drop later this week. We do also know that with the return of ranked play in Warzone, we are going to see some anti-cheat updates for this as well. It's not necessarily a full update to the anti-cheat itself to combat things in a new way, but it is going to impact your SR. Basically, the other day, COD Updates posted about how the retroactive SR system is now live in ranked play for multiplayer, where if you run into a cheater, the game confirms you played against a cheater, cheater, they'll actually give you SR back. However, if you're someone who's trying to cheat the system and you're playing with the cheater knowingly, trying to boost your SR because you're not good at the game, they are going to find that out and then actually take SR away from you. This same retroactive system will be applied in Warzone ranked, and they'll share details on that, again, likely with the full patch notes. And then we do have one last update here, again, in regards to Ricochet. Back at the start of the season, once again, they detailed, obviously, Season 3 was going to have some substantial anti-cheat and Ricochet updates, which served their purpose for the first little while. Obviously, it's become more of a problem in the past few days as more cheat devs have figured out what was updated with Season 3. But they did mention that in the release window of Season 3 Reloaded, so could be sometime this week, maybe early next week, we are going to end up seeing a detailed progress report on what's going on with Ricochet, how it's been working so far in Season 3, and what they plan to do in the future as well with it. So some cool info to look out for there. Obviously, once we see the full patch notes drop later this week, once we get any other reveals and announcements, or when we see the progress report drop, anything like that, you guys know I'm gonna have you covered with right as it happens. So stay tuned for all of that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.